Good morning.
Money.
Today, I'm quitting my job. But first I want to explain why. So to really, truly explain this, I have to kind of explain where I'm at currently and what's been going on, because most people are probably going to look at this and go, you are absolutely insane. You're quitting your job when you don't have anything lined up. But it's gotten to the point, unfortunately, where this is what I have to do for me. Not the best mount, not the worst mount. Anyway, as I was trying to explain to you, ever since we shut down from COVID, my staff and myself have been under enormous pressure in order to do better, to perform better, to run the store and keep it operating despite the fact that customers were being incredibly difficult. This just sounds like a lot of complaining. I don't want to keep complaining, because really the little stuff doesn't matter as much as the big stuff. At the end of the day, I haven't been happy in months. I know how this sounds. I get it. I'm quitting a job without having anything lined up. There are a lot of people out there who are still unemployed. I have to do what's right for my mental health, and I encourage everyone out there to do the same thing. One of my other coworkers is leaving for the exact same reason. We are both just at our wits' end. And good morning. I'm doing all right. I'm actually shooting a video right now. I was just getting to the point where I was explaining that the beginning of the end for me at this job, honestly, was the day that you looked at me and said that I've completely lost my light. And that kind of started the wheels turning for me, at least mentally.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I didn't mean to, hurt your feelings or anything. I was worried.
I know you didn't mean to hurt my feelings, and I know you were just worried. I needed someone to say that to me, because I was never going to say it to myself. I was going to just keep my head down and keep on grinding, and ultimately burn myself out to the point where I just completely collapsed, and I'm definitely already on the brink of that. My mental exhaustion is at its highest it's ever been. I haven't slept in months. I feel physically ill constantly. Everything was coming to a head, and it's just time for me to take the right steps for my own mental and physical health, unfortunately.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I just appreciate having you behind me and having the support system that I have. I'm very, very, very lucky to have the support system that I have, because I know there are a lot of people out there who don't have this kind of support system and don't have the ability to do what I am doing. And, well, up until this moment, I've never had the ability to do what I am doing. I've lived my entire life paycheck to paycheck, even growing up lived paycheck to paycheck, and I've finally taken the right steps to make sure that I'll be okay for a little while. And I'm proud in the fact that all of my hard work has actually given me some security in life, in order for me to be able to take the right actions to make myself happy, I don't anymore have to choose between being happy and paying my bills. And that's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
I've never been able to do that before.
You're going to feel so relieved after you just get it out there.
It's gonna be good. And like I said, I'm in the middle of shooting a video all about it right now.
Sorry to interrupt.
It's okay. I had some goals for the year. One was to make a film. Another one was to post something vulnerable. This crosses off both. It's hard for me to admit that I wasn't doing well. My entire life, I've struggled with depression. I've been diagnosed with bipolar depression, manic depression, and everything under the sun. I've been on every kind of medication I could possibly be on. And I'm happy to say that currently I'm on no medication. But, you know, all of the strides that I took forward in this past 2 years in order to make myself a happier person, in order to keep myself off of the medication, and to live my life without having to try and deal with that aspect of my life, because it never goes away. You can try and manage it, but it never goes away. And everything that I had done to put myself into a better mindset and protect myself was slowly being eaten away. My confidence was dropping. My ability to just be in the moment and to enjoy my life and to laugh and to smile and to sleep and to just be content was slowly being taken away from me. And it's time that I take some of my control back. It's time that I do what I probably should have done a little while ago. And I'm really excited for the next couple weeks, and I'm really excited for the next step in my journey, because I don't know what's going to come next, but I can tell you for a certainty that what comes next is going to be better than what I have, because I will be happier than I am right now. I've always said my entire life 2 things. Number 1, I will always take less in the scheme of compensation as long as I can live, if it means I'm going to be happier. And number 2 is I always need to keep moving forward. But before I take those next big steps, there's one big thing that I need to do first. Well, I honestly thought that was going to be a lot harder than it was. I'm happy I did it. And if I ever needed proof that it was the right thing to do, my boss saw my resignation letter, walked up to me laughing, said, "Funny, don't try and open your own store," and then laughed and walked away and didn't say a word to me for the rest of my shift. So I think I made the right move. On to bigger and better. Alright, so very quickly, I just want to update and talk about what happened yesterday, the day after I turned my notice in. I had a long shift and a long day scheduled ahead of me. I was working with probably a half of my employees, maybe a little over half of my employees, and I knew that today was the day that I had to inform all of them that I had turned my 2 weeks notice in the day before, and that effective the 26th that I would no longer be working with them. So my plan was that when I saw them all, I was going to tell them all together, and then throughout the day I was going to pull them aside and tell them how much they all meant to me, and to explain to them, you know, the changes that were going to be happening and what they could do to step up to make sure that my responsibilities wouldn't go completely unhandled when I left, to make sure that the store ran smoothly, to make sure that as best as I could, the pieces were in the right place, and that the people who were there were going to be set up to succeed as best as I possibly could. Because at the end of the day, I had to make the choice for my own mental health, and I had to make the best choice for me. But I couldn't stand the fact knowing that, you know, someone there might not be set up for success, and that they might be feeling a lot of pressure or a lot of anxiety knowing that all of a sudden they might be having to deal with a whole lot more responsibility than they originally had signed up for. So I did. I took my time. I pulled people aside throughout the day. I let them know what I thought they were good at, areas I thought they could improve. And I let all of them know individually that if they needed anything from me, they had my personal cell phone number and my email. And that for the next 2 weeks, if they needed training in anything or any help professionally, that I was more than happy to walk them through anything they wanted to know. And that even after I left, if they needed me, they had my phone number and they could always call me, even if it was just an operational question, because they might not know what they're doing yet. You know, they still need a whole lot of training. And it went well. It was emotional. It was a long day. I value my team that I had put together, and I trust my team that I had put together. And it was hard to say goodbye to them in a way, but at the same time too, it was really nice to be able to finally give them 100% feedback and just let them know what I really thought of them all the way through, just all in one go. Unfortunately for some of the people there, they realized that without myself and my other manager there, that you know, their best interests were no longer being looked out for. They did not believe that the remaining people in power were going to have their best interest at heart, and felt like it was time for them to move on as well, and so they did. It was deemed that other people choosing to move on and to find a new place of employment was my fault. That somehow I had driven these employees away, employees who I have been fighting for nonstop with every ounce of my energy to make sure that they were set up for success and to make sure that the store succeeded. But somehow it was my fault. Halfway through the shift, ownership came back into the building. I noticed on my cell phone that I had been removed from all access of everything. My email was canceled, my Slack was canceled, and I knew at that point that they were gonna come and walk me out of the building. Not long after that, the owner and my boss came out onto the floor and told me that they wanted to just call it now. They weren't gonna let me work out my 2 weeks. They wanted me to just go ahead and part ways now. And that was best for everybody because I was creating a toxic environment which was driving his employees away. Now, mind you, the employee who decided that no one was there to look out for his best interests sent an email to said owner letting him know that he was leaving because of ownership, because ownership was getting in the way of management, and he felt that his values were no longer being protected, that his ideas were no longer being valued, and that it just wasn't an environment that was going to work well for him based on ownership. On the sales floor in front of all of my employees, I was told that I was being toxic and that I was driving his employees away, despite the fact that I had spent the entire day letting everyone know how much I valued them and trying to set them up to succeed and to make the transition as stress-free as possible. So I took the letter that he handed to me. I didn't say a word. I grabbed my stuff and I left. For the rest of the night, I got text messages and phone calls and, you know, all of this stuff. You know, people telling me they thought that it was wrong, telling people that, you know, just because this was all happening to use it to their advantage, stick it out, do what they needed to do. Really just the outpour of support and love that I got was fantastic. You know, in some of your lowest moments, you're only as strong as your support group, and I am insanely fortunate that I have an incredible support group. My friends and my family and the people that I've gotten to know through the outdoor industry have been nothing short of incredible, and they are the people that I value most. I went out to have dinner last night with a friend of mine to go see another one of my friends who works at the bar there, and we had a steak dinner, we had drinks, we talked about everything, and all we could do at that moment was just laugh at the fact that, you know, the people who we've been trying to protect and trying to help out, and the store we're trying to run for ownership is being ripped apart by those owners. And instead of taking any accountability for it, they're passing blame onto us, saying that we were toxic, that we were the problem. And I can't do anything but laugh. And it makes me incredibly sad because I am someone who takes a lot of pride in my work, and I am someone who will fight tooth and nail for the people who work for me. Because I truly believe that a manager's only as good as his co-workers. A manager's only as good as the team that he puts on the floor or she puts on the floor. And I really liked my team. I really did. However, today is my first day of officially being unemployed. It happened sooner than I thought it was going to happen. It happened in a way in which I really wished it hadn't happened. But it is what it is. So today is my day. Today is my first day of reclaiming my happiness that I have sacrificed for the past however long in order to focus on work. I had lost my light, I'd lost my happiness, I'd lost my personal drive and replaced it all with work. And today I'm reclaiming as much as I possibly can. And from this moment forward, I'm going to do everything I can to keep that happiness and to strive to make my life better and to not get lost in the work again. So I apologize for the wind noise, as I'm sure it is incredibly unbearable, but I am locked and loaded with the yaks on the roof, and we are gonna head out and catch some sunshine and float around a little while and see if we can see some eagles. So let's go. Woo woo! Sexy mama.
I'm gonna run inside real quick because I want to get my bigger Yeti for my water. So I just have my pink one right now. It's cool. Here.
my boat. I needed this. Just feels good to be out here soaking up the sun and feeling the waves out in my happy place. Where are you going?
The freaking wind, my dude, is taking me. Quit mocking me while you film.
I'm not mocking you while I film.
I'm gonna ram into your boat.
Bring it. You actually are going to.
Okay, I don't mean to. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Well, what a maneuver. No shame.
Give me some sugar.
Oh my god.
You push me away?
Yeah.
Yes!
Ah!
I'm so strong.
Oh yeah.
Not fun. Fine, you're just filming a documentary to make me look crazy. I get it.
Mission
I
accomplished.
would watch too.
Oh. I don't think you can even see it.
It like grabbed that seagull and then the guts just like came on my head.
Okay.
Poker?
I was gonna do a cool time lapse of me putting all the boats away.
Oh, did you want me to help you?
No, there are just too many people here.
You don't want to be judged?
No, there's just a lot of people here. I just want to
Yeah.
get ice cream. Ice cream. Mm-hmm. It's a happy Jamie.
Very happy.
And a wrap on day one. You just cover your mouth.